He's just been unreal. He deserves a tremendous amount of credit for us winning the ball game today because I thought Ryan Williamson was just as good. He was really tough on us, and if it wasn't for the miscue on the steal where they threw the ball in the outfield, we may not have scored there until the end. But I give our guys a lot of credit. How about the at bat by Chase Pender in the ninth there? 2 strikes against a guy throwing in the mid-90s to get a leadoff hit right there. And then we executed, which was really fun to watch in a very tight situation. Eli White got the bunt down, and then they did what any of us would do, and they walked Seth, walked Oak, and then we were very fortunate. Wes's ball just hopped up on the shortstop, right there at the last second, and we won it. So just a great win for our guys. Couldn't be happier for them, and ready to enjoy the day off tomorrow after such an exciting win.
Coach, it's been a while since you've had a real pitcher's duel. How nice is it to be able to see that you can win a game with solid pitching and defense?
Well, that's obviously where we want to get to. We want to get to the point where we can run a pitcher out there and a defense out there that'll keep us in every single ball game, because as you know, in the ACC you're going to face high quality arms, and their starting pitching was really good. Their guy today was, I thought stuff-wise, their best guy of the weekend. So we needed somebody who could match up with him and give us a chance, and Pat Krall did that. He's one of the best pitchers in the country for a reason.
20 runs yesterday, 1 run today. Is this the best example you could think of the highs and lows of baseball?
Well, as I've often said, the momentum of a baseball game is all started on the mound, and it's pretty obvious that that's true today. You look at what they did on the mound today and look what we did on the mound today. As many runs as were scored yesterday, there were a lot of runs scored in Game 1, but it all starts with the guy on the mound. And Ryan Williamson, give him a lot of credit, and Pat Krall, got to give him credit. They kept both offenses at bay, and that's just again, the whole game is dictated by what happens on the mound for the most part. If you run into a guy that's got all his pitches going, he's got good stuff going, he's going to make it tough on you. So that momentum was created for our team today by Pat Krall.
I saw you having a discussion with Wes during that pitching change. Was there any consideration to a potential squeeze play, or what were you talking about with him there? It's
funny. We actually, Buck and I did talk about it. We said, hey, what do you think about a safety squeeze here? But we didn't, in the back of your mind, you always think that. But on the other side, we felt like Wes was ready for that at bat. So we were going to let him hit right there. So no, you always think about it as a manager and as a coach. But at the end of the day, anytime I question whether I should do something or not, I let him hit.
You talk about Chris Oakey's at bat too in that night, because they did the intentional walk to get to him, and that turned out to be a huge play, obviously.
Well, it's a huge play because if he's not disciplined right there and he comes out of the strike zone, we don't get the sac fly sitting at third base, or a ground ball that can score that winning run. So yeah, absolutely. The difference is you got to get a base hit right there to win the ball game, as opposed to a sac fly or a ground ball where they got to turn 2. So it was huge for us that at bat. And look, Chris Oakey has turned into an extremely disciplined hitter. If you look at his numbers, his on base percentage, his walks, he does an unreal job for us of getting on base. So he is a true professional hitter right now.
Back-to-back series win over 2 of the better teams in this conference. Pat Krall in the starting rotation. Do you feel like things are now coming together a little bit and kind of gotten over some of those rough spots?
Yes, I think so. Again, just look. Yesterday we got beat very soundly, but our guys, they let that game go. They knew what was at stake. And and the bottom line is we won the series. We found a way to win the series. So I think it just says a lot about our team. Our team's going to compete. They're going to show up ready to go every single day. And it's just a matter of us putting ourselves in a position to be successful. And we got 2 great starts this weekend. We know that Game 2 we didn't get a good start, but in 2 of those 3 games we got great starting pitching, and that was the difference.
Going forward with Pat, do you reserve him for Sunday starter, or do you play it by ear and see how the series goes and whether you need him on Friday or Saturday out of the pen?
I tell you, obviously this is the biggest question that anybody's going to ask me, and we're going to try to use him to win series because it's really hard. Heck, I'm telling you, last night I'm kicking myself for not starting him in Game 2. because we talked about it. But we felt like when we won game 1, we could use him to close out game 2 if we needed to win the series. We could use our best reliever at the back end of that game with a lead, whether it was go to him in the 5th with a lead, the 6th, the 7th, whatever the case may be. We felt like that was the right decision to make. Now, I'm kicking myself because I'm always going to be accountable. I'm kicking myself for not starting him yesterday because we did discuss it. But we're going to use him to win series. So, if you win game 1, and if you look at it, we stretched him out against Florida State on Monday. So really the ideal time to start him would have been Sunday. Because I can tell you this, you can hurt a pitcher if you bump him up 2 days. If you go from Monday to Saturday on 4 days rest, you can hurt a guy, especially if he's stretched out past 50, 60 pitches. So this gave him a 5th day of rest, which we felt like was ideal if we were going to start him. And then now we have the opportunity to bump him up. If we decide to bump him up going into next weekend, we can start him on Saturday. And if we decide we want to bump him to Friday or leave it just like that, we can leave it just like that. So it gives us that option. So the bottom line is we want to use him to win series, and he does that as good as anybody.